All right. Today we're diving into a story about a princess whose incredible beauty was matched only by her shocking arrogance. But this isn't just some dusty old fairy tale. Nope. It's a really powerful look at pride, at humility, and the wild, elaborate plan a prince cooked to teach a lesson in love that you just won't forget. And yeah, that's a direct quote from our leading lady, Princess Mahanor. It pretty much sums her up perfectly, right from the get-go. She's a woman who looks at everyone and everything around her and finds it all wanting. So let's start with Princess Mahanor's biggest, and you could say her only real flaw. This pride, this arrogance that was so huge it made her cruel. It really cut her off from the rest of the world, and honestly, from anyone who even tried to get close. So, the thing about this princess is that her beauty was literally one of a kind. But her bride, even more legendary. Her poor father, the king, was just at the end of his rope. So, in one last-ditch effort to find her a husband, he threw this huge party, inviting all the best princes and nobles he could find. And the way she just tears them down, wow, it's stunningly cruel. She just strolls down this line of hopeful guys, cutting them to pieces. This one's a beer barrel. The next is a dry stick. Another one, she says, looks sick. And this really strapping, healthy-looking guy, she calls him a rooster. But the last rejection, that's the one that really matters. She looks at the handsome, kind Prince Shahzaman and just dismisses him as boring. And you guessed it, that last insult, that was the final straw. Her father's patience just snaps. Her pride has finally pushed things too far, leading to a punishment that's designed to do more than just teach her a lesson. It's meant to completely tear down her entire world. And you might think he's just bluffing, right? Nope, not at all. The very next morning, this street singer shows up under the palace windows, long hair, thick beard, raggedy clothes, the whole deal. And the king, true to his word, forces his daughter to marry this complete stranger right then and there, despite all her screaming and her threats. Can you imagine? He sends her away with a dowry of just 5 gold coins. That's it. It's this tiny, insulting amount that's basically telling her what she's worth to him now. With one final command to her new husband, take her far away from my sight. The princess who used to laugh at kings is thrown out with basically nothing. So the whiplash here is just absolute. I mean, think about it. You go from living in a golden palace with servants and velvet carpets to a rundown shack with dirt floors. This isn't just her losing her money. It's the complete and total demolition of her entire reality. Okay, so now she's on the road, forced to literally walk away from everything she's ever known. And every single step of this journey becomes another painful, humbling reminder of what she so casually tossed aside. You know, even as they're traveling, her old mindset kicks in. They pass through this huge, gorgeous forest, then some lush green fields, and finally this incredible city. And she just can't help herself. She keeps asking her new husband, who owns all this amazing land? And every single time she asks, her husband has the same calm reply. The forest? Oh, that belongs to Prince Shahzaman. The fields? Prince Shahzaman. The city? Yep, all his. And each answer is like a dagger, just twisting with regret as she realizes the amazing life she could have had with the man she called boring. But her lessons in humility? Oh, they are far from over. Once they get to their little hut, the princess, who has never, ever worked a day in her life, has to face the cold, hard fact that she needs to learn how to survive. So her new husband, he's actually pretty patient. He tries to teach her some basic skills. First up, basket weaving, but the reeds just prick her delicate fingers. Next, he tries to teach her to sew a shirt, but again, she pricks her finger and just can't do it. Her last shot at making a living is selling pottery at the market. And, after she fails with the baskets, her husband doesn't yell at her. Instead, he just bandages her finger and says these simple but really profound words. It's a statement that becomes the theme for her whole journey, that real learning, real transformation, it almost always comes from pain. And this right here is rock bottom. She's actually having a pretty good morning, selling her pots, and then, out of nowhere, this reckless hunter on a horse just loses control and smashes through her entire stall, shattering every single pot. She's just left there, sitting in the dirt, publicly shamed, with nothing. So her husband's like, okay, clearly this isn't working out. So where does he find her job? The one place she probably thought she'd never step foot in again, the royal palace. But not as a princess. Oh no, as a kitchen maid. The lowest of the low, washing dishes. And whose palace is it? You guessed it. Prince Shahzaman's. Meanwhile, back at the palace, something huge is going down. The whole place is buzzing, there's a secret in the air, and it's all setting the stage for one heck of a final reveal. So while she's down there scrubbing away, she starts hearing all this gossip. Prince Shahzaman is getting married tonight, but nobody knows who the bride is. Right as she's about to leave for the day, the head cook, who kind of likes her, stuffs her pockets with leftovers and tells her to go sneak a peek at the party. So she's super hesitant, right? She's just peeking through a little crack in the door when the prince himself spots her. And to everyone's total shock, he grabs her hand and pulls her out onto the dance floor. And then the absolute worst humiliation. As they're dancing, all the food the cook gave her tumbles out of her pockets and scatters across the floor. The whole room just erupts in laughter. She is absolutely mortified, tries to bolt, but he won't let her go. He leads her to a quiet room, and with this gentle look, he lays it all out. He tells her, "Don't you recognize me? I am your husband." He was the street singer, he was the hunter who smashed her pots, and yes, he was the very same Prince Shahzaman she had called boring. And just like that, with that one confession, everything clicks into place. Her whole terrible ordeal wasn't just a string of bad luck. It was a plan, a very, very detailed plan. And her transformation is finally complete. And get this, her own father was in on the whole thing. He and Prince Shahzaman had planned this entire, elaborate, and kind of harsh test. It was designed to do one thing: completely shatter her pride so she could finally learn some empathy and actually love with a true, humble heart. I mean, just think about the change in a single day. It's absolutely breathtaking. In the morning, she was a dishwasher in rags, a joke with leftovers falling out of her pockets. By that evening, she's cleaned up, dressed in royal clothes, and stands before that same court as their queen. The very people who laughed at her, now they're bowing in awe. So this whole incredible story really leaves us with something to chew on, doesn't it? The princess's pride made her see a kind, wonderful prince as boring, and the world as something to just criticize. It kind of makes you stop and wonder, right? What illusions are our own blind spots creating for us, and what truths are they keeping us from seeing?